Then I'm like, what is it? Is it C? Then I'm questioning myself.
Yeah.
But you know, like I know the word.
K-O-N.
Listen,
It's
I
Nis.
was on Google fighting for my absolute life.
You know what? It gets you upset and emotional, innit? Because you're like, you don't even have a suggestion for
There's
me.
nothing. Google's like, brother, I can't help you. You know you
what?
need to read books. How you been otherwise?
Good, you know.
Because I feel like you do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'll try and keep busy. Let me give my hair a little zhuzh, because you know the tube is tubing, innit?
Do you get compliments with your hair when you're on the tube?
No, sometimes, you know what I mean? It'll just be someone being like, cool afro. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, cool. Like it's a gimmick, you know what I mean? Wow, love your hair. And if you've got like a head wrap on, it's cool. I love your turban.
Someone said that to you?
Yeah, you know, just like, you know, I love your headdress. Yeah. But yeah, so life other than, you know, working is all right.
When I watched you on Graham Norton's show, I didn't know you was a model. I never knew that.
Oh.
Like, I never knew that was like like that's what you started off doing.
Yeah.
That's a mad transition though from like that, because I feel like most people sometimes normally stay in that industry, or they kind of branch out into other stuff from people I've met and know.
Yeah.
What was it like those early days? Because was you living in Milan?
No.
Oh no, you went to Milan. That's where you done the show.
Yeah. Well, you do Fashion Week seasons, so every season you'll go like, you know, you'll start in like New York, go London if you have to, and then you'll go Milan, Paris. But no, I never lived there. I lived in New York. That's where I lived.
Yes,
and I lived there for like on 19 years. For like 19. A couple of years out, yeah.
What's those early years like? Because this is like the kind of noughties, right?
Yeah, I
moved
moved out in 2000.
Yeah. What was it like them times?
You know what? It was fucking great, you know.
Is it?
I'll be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think I'm one of them. I'm the last generation to probably grow up in their teens without social media, right? Because I'm 45. Yeah. So that's, and just turned 45. So I'm like that last generation where we had, if someone didn't have a mobile phone, it wasn't a weird thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if anything, it was a rarity.
Yeah.
For someone to have to have a mobile phone.
Back in the day,
so I had so all of that was undocumented, thank God. And then the early noughties, being in New York with like, you know, at that time, if you cast your mind back, it's like, you know, Destiny's Child was still a group, Kanye was relatively sane, you know what I mean? Paris Hilton was like a reality star, Britney was a big, do you know, like it was almost like the last of them times. We didn't know it, but, you know, there was a sort of recklessness to it all.
Yeah.
And I think getting, you know, sort of catapulted into modelling, you just had like money and privilege and from nowhere, do you know what I mean? From like, you know, working in a retail shop or pulling pints, and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, you can go to the club, you don't have to pay for drinks. It seemed like a madness. And that's probably why I was able to transition from that into comedy, because I knew it wasn't real. Like there was no point of me modelling where I was like, Amida, I was like, this is not real. This is not based on anything.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that when it kind of ended, there wasn't elements that I missed about it, because you don't realise you are being treated in a world that isn't fair. You know, like things are easier for you. Everything's going your way. You know what I mean? So you sort of, but you know it's not real.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. You know, this too shall pass. This isn't gonna last. This is like winning the lottery. My life was so vastly different before I started modelling, and I knew it was all based on aesthetics and also the fashion of those aesthetics, right? So like, you know, you'll see someone who's like drop dead gorgeous, but maybe that look isn't in this season, and then next season it is. So it was so fickle. It's not real.
I've never thought of that of an industry like modelling. Like, I do understand it from the outside, but knowing your perspective of it, what it's like in the inside of knowing that you're like, this is going to end and I know it's going to end, rather than I think the perception I might have had of like, oh, like you're young and you're living in the moment, but it's, I guess it's looking at like especially if you're saying it's like the early 2000s, when you look at like a Kate Moss, who at the time was, you know, if I think of like Kate Moss and like Naomi Campbell, and you see like where they are now, and they still do campaigns, but knowing that like what you're saying, where you're like, yeah, it's like the best way to probably summarize it is it's a vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Think about it like footballers, yeah? So Kate, or any sport, Kate Moss and Naomi Campbell, that's the Michael Jordan. Do you know what I mean? You got all these other sports people that don't go anywhere, or they make their money and then they lose it. So we know them and they've stood the test of time because it's Naomi Campbell. It's Kate Moss.
They're like the rarities.
They are.
The unicorns is what they call them.
Absolutely the rarities. So for the rest of us, it was sort of like, and this was at a time where you couldn't capitalise on modelling in a way that you can now with social media, where you can be like, this is my following and I'm going to transfer this over to cooking or lifestyle or
podcasting.
Interior design. Then it was just like, boy, they should marry someone old and rich now.
Yeah.
And hope they like active sports. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And try your luck that way. You know, there wasn't much like there wasn't many avenues that you could like funnel it down or that branched off from it.
And it's interesting you said that like while you was in New York that you like it was like a changing of a time where I guess it's like of the kind of .com generation. You got like the internet, social media, mobile phones. I always feel like with America, it's very normal to be like, yeah, like me, Leonardo DiCaprio and Red Tete, we just chill, man. We got vibing sessions. You're like, that stuff, like when I hear stories, it's very normal back then and in America. To this day, what was it like back in those days? Do you have those stories of people that... Who was people that you used to chill with then back then?
Not even chill, but like you would just go out to clubs and there would just be everyone from, you know, from your sort of, your cultural like diaspora, the things that you're into would be there. So you go to a club like, yeah, Jay-Z's on the other table. You go to another club, you're like, oh yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio's there, Lindsay Lohan's there. You know, I mean, but we were so, because you're sort of treated like a, sort of models were kind of treated like celebrities in New York back then because it wasn't an acting city. It wasn't like California. You know what I mean? Where there's actors. But I remember like me and my mates going out to some club and we was in there and Mr. Big from Sex and the City was there and we were like, oh no, man, we got to go, man. Mr. Big said this is dead. Do you know what I mean? Nah, it's over. It's time to leave. You know what I'm saying? Be like, Paris Hilton's like, nah, this is cheesy. We got to go. Don't know who we thought we was. You know what I mean?
And you was there for 19 years.
Yeah.
What made you stay for so long? Because I feel like sometimes with the States, it's definitely like I'll try it for like 5, come back home. Was you like going back and forth, or was that like predominantly where you was at?
That's where I was based, but I was going back and forth a lot. And I say 19 years, like in total, but I spent a couple of those years in LA. I came back here when I first started comedy for about 2 years, or like just under, and then I went back. So, yeah, it was like, I definitely thought I was going to... When I first moved out there, I didn't love it, but after a while, I was like, well, this is where my friends are. And this is, you know, this is where my community is.
Yeah.
So, I thought I was going to stay. But, you know, such is life. You always end up back home, innit? Don't matter what you think.
It's so true, you know.
You end up back home.
Everyone I speak to when they're out there, they always have like I like it, but I just miss it. And I think like, it's very rare that I meet someone who's like, nah, I'm here. This is home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, I think it's a British thing to say that out loud as well. To not feel like, because I remember meeting someone once and they grew up in South London and they've just done really well for themselves. And I remember saying, I'm like, oh, like you grew up in South and on account. And I was like, oh, do you ever go back to South? He's like, nah, I don't go back to South. Nah.
Really?
But I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like that for me felt so alien. And I was like, so where do you live now? He's like, yeah, I live like Chelsea and stuff. And yeah. And
Did
I was
you tell
like,
him that's South? Nah, don't let him know.
But you know, like in my head, I'm like, you know, you're still South. I think it's that thing where sometimes is one thing that Brits hate is when we meet people that feel like they've lost a sense of self from, like when we know we're like, I know where you're from. And the fact that you've detached that is almost like, oh, rah, like you're I'm like, you're just like, nah, I was so shocked. And I've never met anyone that's been so like, me, South, nah, I don't go back there. Now, my grandma's there, but go back? Oh, I was like, hell no. I was like, oh, right, boy.
Do you think, though, just like culturally, it's like as Brits, we have a little bit of a problem with people changing. And I wonder if it's to do with our class system, like the way the class system's set up.
Yeah,
it's like
massively.
it can only really exist like that if you really identify with the station you was brought up in. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just think culturally we are a little bit like, you change. Like, we'll hold that against you. We hold change against
massively.
you. Even if you're doing well and you're not troubling no one and you're minding your business, we're like, right, you really rate yourself, innit? Like, you really, you really think you're too good now.
I think it's interesting because I always feel like when there are people that do well for themselves, what then happens is it goes from like, oh, you are relatable because I know where you're from, you sound like me, you dress like me, but now you're in a place that from me on the outside doesn't look like it's somewhere that I can see myself in my career or in my space. So even if someone is a builder and the favorite person they listen to is a rapper and this rapper's gone on to, I don't know, worldwide success, that builder can't see himself being like, I can be the person that can be a property developer that is in an international. He just would see himself as like, oh, bro, I'll listen to you. But now you're there, mate. I can't relate to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's that thing of when you grow up in like a council estate environment, everyone has the same. So everyone's house has the same central heating, same radiators. And I think if you grow up in an environment where you know you all have the same and someone has other, it can become okay. What you want to knock through the walls? You can't just have the two bed. Why you gotta have an open plan? And I think that's where it comes from. Because I know you grew up on a council estate as well, innit?
Yeah.
Where did you grow up and what state was it?
I grew up on a few different estates because I moved around quite a bit. So one in South Bermondsey for a little while. Well, actually, Tabard Estate.
You grew up in Tabard?
Yeah, Tabard
Is
Estate
it?
for a few years.
Okay.
And then Mount Gardens in Streatham for a few years.
Okay.
And then like various different places, and then ended up in a block of flats on Acre Lane.
Oh, raw.
Yeah.
That's some estates right there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, like,
Yeah, man.
like Peabody Estates.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
man.
like,
Yeah.
kind of mellow, not like super. You know how Peabodys are.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
They've
yeah.
always got a bit of greenery. I remember laughing with a friend of mine, and because I'd lived in New York. I remember when I first lived there, sort of trying to explain to people like, no, well, I live in a project block. Do you know, I'm from. You don't think I'm an idiot. I'm not. I'm from a project block. And then I remember going back to my old estate, and it was like a really sunny day.
Yeah.
And like all the kids were playing out. Like, you know like it looked like something from a Disney film. And I was like, you really need to let go of this narrative that you're trying to push to like your American friends that you're from. A project of sorts. Do you know what I'm saying? Because actually when I walked through, and of course it's spicy and shit like that as you're growing up, but yeah, to walk through I was like, this looks kind of magical on a sunny day. You know, like when you think about being a kid.
Yeah,
it's always the summer holidays, isn't it? The sun's
yeah.
always shining. I sort of like walked through this estate and I was like, yeah, shut up, really.
I think that's always the positive memories of the estate is the 6 weeks holiday, because I feel like that's when like the reset happens. The kids are playing out. There's no real drama. It does kick off sometimes. You know when it's too hot and there's a fight, and it kicks off. But
there's like a moment when you're a kid. I think things get really tricky when you hit your teens. You know what I mean? That's when you have to navigate. You're sort of like this, you know, man child or woman child, and you're sort of like, wait, who's? Oh, I don't have any older siblings that are going to mash anyone up. Like, what the hell? Wow. Like, how do I
got to fight.
Yeah, I'm being called to action. I've changed my mind. But, you know, yeah, when you're a kid, it's all like knock down ginger and, you know.
Was you a funny kid? Was you funny?
I think like to an extent, yeah. But I was also just quite a aggy kid as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you're defensive, innit? And you don't have the things that maybe you want to have. And so you find ways of like cussing with humour. But really, it's like deflection, innit? Because you feel shame.
Yeah. Shut up, man.
Yeah.
Dickhead, man.
Right?
Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. What? Come over and say that. Oh, no, I'm just saying. Sorry. So when you're in New York and you're modeling, what was the switch of I want to get into this thing of stand up? What was that light bulb moment?
You know what? I ended up getting this job, like a TV presenting job, just off the back of modelling, and it was called The Fashion Show, and it was on ITV2, and it was with Abby Clancy and Georgia Lamb, right?
Oh, wow.
And this must have been like 2006, 2007. And I remember getting that job. I had no business getting, the job was here and I was living out there. And I got it and I was sort of like, is this, and like I don't have any GCSEs or anything like that. And so I was sort of like, and before modelling I'd done, you know, loads of just regular, like when I first left school, but I was in year 9, I was working in Bagel King. And then I worked in Deptford Market.
You worked in Bagel King?
I worked in Bagel King,
I've never met any black people working in Bagel King, you know?
Why'd you call it Bagel King, you know?
I couldn't even get the words out. Hold on. Wait. I've never met anyone who's... Because this is open 24 hours.
Yeah, but this is when it first opened. Like, it had been open a few years when I worked there. And there was a bag of us.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I
you
worked
went
there.
Bagel King.
You know what? Shut your mouth. I don't like the way you keep on repeating it. But I worked there.
Like, that in obviously in South London, that's like a historic landmark. Do you know what I mean? But like, I don't think, you know, like when people say they've worked, they might behind the pub, retail, boom, boom, boom. But that's like historic.
It's a curveball, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I
There's so much questions.
I know. Listen, I can answer them as well. But so I worked in a few. I worked in Sega World, in Trocadero, and that was a thing. You might be too young to remember that.
I know that. Trocadero, man.
Yeah. So I worked there. I worked in, you know, all these different shoe shops, whatever, like Shelley shoe shops when that was a thing. I worked in a bunch of pubs in Brixton and Clapham. Anyway, so then I start modelling and I was just always like, what am I going to do after this? Like, I don't have any qualification. Like, what's next? So I do that presenting job and they would have this person who would warm up the crowd and it was a comedian and I hadn't even watched comedy. I hadn't seen comedy live. Obviously, I'd see stuff that had come on telly like Chris Rock or whatever. Yeah. But I wasn't like thought that like I can do that. And I used to watch this person warming up the crowd. And I hated this presenting job so much. I was like, this is dumb. This is like so, do you know what I mean? Like it was just so vacuous and silly. And I just was like, this is like modelling, but with auto cue. Meanwhile, I'm dyslexic, so I really ain't got no business reading auto cue without them putting some different colours on it, and you know. So yeah,
phonetically.
Yeah, exactly. Can someone say and I repeat? Can that work? So anyway, so I'd watch this comedian warming up the crowd and I let that swirl in my mind for a little while. I was like, I'm going to try that. And then I went back to New York and I think maybe like at 30, that's when I was like, okay, let me give it a try.
What's comedy like in New York?
I think it's a great place to start. Yeah. I'm really happy that that's where I started my career because there's no money involved. So, which is not a great thing, but what it means is that you're doing it because you want to do it and you can say what the fuck you want and there's no pressure to like, oh, I've got to get my set perfect because this promoter's watching because they're going to pay me. It's like you're just working stuff out and you're finding your voice and you've got a nice community of comics and you can do multiple gigs in a night. Yeah. And so there's like a lot of support and cussing as well, but it's all very like you got to be in it to win it. You know what I mean? You bomb up one gig, you walk across the road, you do another one. Yeah. So for me, it was a great place to start. And also the references that I would have used if I was here, I couldn't use that much out there because it didn't really... And also, back then, this is like before certain shows had come out and stuff, if you had an English accent, people just presume you were posh. Even if you tried to tell them, like, I'm from the project, like, they don't care. They're like, shut up.
I think definitely now with the rise of social media or streaming platforms, there is more of an idea of, like, this is what this place is like. Yeah. Whereas I know before, back in the day, it was very much like, y'all eat crumpets, right? Y'all go to Buckingham Palace and...
Harry Potter.
Yeah, all of that Harry Potter. So what was the transition like when you came here then to do stand-up?
It was all right, actually. I actually did well quite quickly. And I think within like, because I've been doing it a year, then I came here, got an agent, and pretty soon after that, I got this, like, I had like 10 or 5 minutes on TV for this Hackney Weekender, and it went well, but the jokes were very low hanging fruit jokes.
What were the jokes? I know you know the jokes.
Obviously, I understand.
All comics know they're bad jokes.
Bruv, I had some shit about being Jewish and Jamaican. I said I was Jamaican. I can't even make eye contact with you while I'm saying it. I swear, I had a joke about kosher jerk chicken. I swear, even think... And you know what's annoying? It lives. It lives. You can't hide from your... It lives. It's on the internet. Yeah, sometimes I'll just be lying in bed and I'll be like, Jamaican, oh God. So anyway, after that was on, I knew it in my stomach, Mo. I was like, you ain't got more than this. You don't have the skill set yet. Like, you haven't done the hours.
Yeah.
And I knew that I could easily I was like, I'm going to make a fool of myself if I don't do the hours, because I'm going to be put on these panels because they're at the time that we need to be diverse and we're ticking a few boxes.
Yeah.
And that's all very well, but you're going to put me next to, I don't know, let's say for instance, like Jimmy Carr and Sean Locke, and I'm going to look like a shit comic because I would be. I've only been doing it
especially
a year.
Like them comics are like quick fire, witty.
Yeah, they've done
Frankie
their time.
Boyle, do you know what I mean? Those guys, they're like, they know the show in and out. And I feel like the audience know that as well.
We're in these kind of situations now where there's kind of commissioners and they want to do certain things, but it's also like we need the time to make sure that we're match fit as well. Otherwise, it looks like we're doing our people or our gender or whatever a disservice, and that's not the case. You just put put me next to, you know, David Beckham to have a kick about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not like I'm gonna look rubbish. And so I did kind of know that. Like, I was like, I really need to be careful here because I'm gonna burn out real quick. Like, I'm gonna be on a bunch of different things and I'm gonna look like a shit comic. So anyway, long story short, I'd pitched a TV show that had come on. It got cancelled really quickly. It was like a little panel show about topical culture and whatever. And it was shit. So they cancelled it, fair. And then I went back to New York and I was like, I need to get good at stand-up. Privately.
Yeah.
In private.
Was that, and that's what New York provided for you?
Yeah,
I mean, to be able to crack on and do your thing, but in a place where you're like, I ain't got commissioners coming to my show, so I can just do the stuff here where I've got friends and
I still have my visa as well. I still have my visa. I was just kind of out here and I was like, I could go back to New York. I could still model, so I could still make money. And I was like, and you can just do stand-up in a way that you should be doing it, which is like exactly like you're saying, in private when no one cares. So that's what happened. And it was a great place for me to be able to do that. And then and then on top of that, I started doing other stuff. Like I was working for Vice America and doing factual content. So it sort of drifted into other things. But it meant that by the time I moved back here in 2019, it could look, I guess, from the outside like, oh, you just came back and stormed it. But I'd had all of them years. I'd had a good 9 years of doing stand-up. Yeah.
What was the Vice stuff like? Because I feel like Vice, you know, I remember going into the office when it was in Shoreditch in London. And that was a place that I always wanted to be like, I want to do stuff on Vice. Because it felt like the coolest stuff that you could see that no one was doing. It
was like very niche for the time, you know? So like, when Jamali was working for Vice America, I was working for Vice America as well and doing all kinds of different documentaries. Some of them silly, some of them really hard-hitting and good. And like, it was fun. And when I say it was fun, sometimes it wasn't and it was fucking annoying, but like the end result was good.
I feel like you're very self-aware of your career in a sense of, you know what it takes to, I guess, see things through, but also push hard because, you know, the fact that you're saying like, as a model, you're like, well, I was modeling and I could see that there was this time span and I needed to get on and do something else because this wouldn't be the thing that I could do forever, but also being self-aware to know that I'm on a panel show and the people I'm here, it's like you're saying, the David Beckhams, and they are the ones that also like the audience are coming for.
When I talk about that, it was very hypothetical. Like I wasn't on that panel show yet, but I also had an option to do something else at the same time. So
Yeah.
I can say that, but I think I was in a very fortunate position where I could go, I'm going to go back to America. I've still got my visa and I'm just going to do this quietly and I can do these other things. And do you know what I mean? So I had a bit of space to be philosophical about my career. I didn't have any big immediate things happening. And also trial and error. I think there's something, and again, that was before social media was doing what it was doing now. So I was able to reinvent myself. And I think that's something that is kind of missing today. It's a shame that everything has to be documented, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're doing things now, or you're doing things in the beginning of your career that you've just probably grown out of now.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want to do it because you've done it, you know? And there's this sort of trail that follows you around now. You don't get to reinvent yourself in the same way anymore and be free from the old thing that you did.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think as well, there was like a lot of things in my favour at that time to be able to do that.
Did you go to Edinburgh?
Yeah.
What's it been like for you?
Because you know, mate, you've done Edinburgh.
No, but I've done a half show Edinburgh.
Let me tell you.
Because me and Kay, so when me and Kay went, we done a half show, and I think what's interesting about doing a half show is that you're in Edinburgh, but you're on the edge. You're not inside. Does that make sense?
When you say half show, do you mean split in an hour or do you mean doing 2 weeks?
So we done 2 weeks and I done half an hour, Kay done half an hour.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel like, yes, I can say I've done it, but I wasn't involved in it. I didn't have the PR. I didn't have the, do you know what I mean? The nice poster. I didn't have the skinny coming to do the reviews.
I never had any of that.
Hmm.
And I've done 4 one-woman shows. I did my last one-woman show when I first moved back here in 2019, and I've never had PR. I've been lucky if I've got reviewed, but I've done the month, right? I think maybe 1 year I did. So I think like the first time I did it in like 2012, 2014 or 2015. I did it in like 2017 and then 2019, and I'd leave New York and I'd come and do the Fringe. I think the Fringe is really important when you're first starting. I think there's a lot to learn. You're never going to get, you know, I do an hour show. You're not going to get 24 hours of stage time in the beginning of your career. That could take you 6 months. That could take you a year. That could take you years if you're doing 10 minutes apart. So there's something really important about it. I think for black and brown acts and for working class acts, the Fringe is a fucking bump, man. It is soul destroying. So you kind of got to go up there. I mean, I've done one-woman shows up there. I would say collectively, how many like black and brown people had seen my show? Maybe 100 over 4 one-woman shows over the course of, you know, that's 4 different months over a decade.
Yeah, yeah.
But that being said, I think that there's a lot to learn. I think why it's important is you'll meet other comics. You'll get to know them. You'll find a community of people that might not know you. It's more for the getting to know other comics. I think it's really important. I think having the discipline to do it every day, to go through those emotions where you're like, even going through that everyone's got their reviews. Maybe you've only been reviewed once, but it's a shitty review and you've still got to fly for your own gigs and all of that kind of stuff are really important skills to learn for the craft of comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
If you care about that. Now there's so many different ways to skin a cat, do you know what I mean? But I think there's some really good foundations that you can learn from the Fringe. When I chat to young acts and they're like, I'm going Fringe, I always say to them, do the free Fringe. Don't get yourself in debt to go there.
No.
Do the free Fringe. Do a bucket whip round. If you've done a good show, they'll put money in the bucket. You'll leave with money. Will it all be in pound coins? Yeah. But don't worry about that.
No, but I think it's definitely doing comedy where it feels like you have to work to earn your food. Do you know what I mean?
You really do. And you know what? It's not fair. I've seen some comics go up there who I know are an exceptional comic and they're not getting a realistic view of their set or their success. And especially black comics.
Yeah.
Like you go up there. Listen, I remember one year, me and Travis J were like a couple of doors down from each other and we would just see each other on the street on them. Little nod,
man.
Bruv, little nod and like a little wobble of the bottom lip. You good, yeah? How many people? About 3. You had 3 in? Okay. I had 12 into the wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, So it's you're not going to get but that's good. That's good. All of those things are fortifying you. All of these things are important because it's coming with comedy. Even if you're on a upward thing and your success and all of that, it's coming for you. The bomb is coming. Like you're going to die on your ass at some point. Things aren't going to go your way. You're going to say a joke, people are going to take it the wrong way, or you're just going to do something so you need to be match fit in terms of like have your ego damaged a few times and still want to persist.
Definitely, man. I think the amount of times you do stand up as a comic where you go on that role, you're like everything's just working, then you have the one and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? Feels abnormal,
mate.
And then I don't know about you, but I'll be like, yep, gotta go top secret tonight, bro.
Hey, straight away. You know what got me? Because I'm touring at the moment, right? And so I'd been, you're touring. People are coming out to see you. You start thinking you're like some comedy genius. Do you know what I mean? You're like, touch the mic, everyone's laughing, man. Anyway, I got this random gig to do in bloody Melbourne. Yeah, so I was like, I'll go out. I only stayed for 2 nights, but the money was good. I was like, cool. I went out. It weren't even in Melbourne. It was like past Melbourne. It was like I was like in valleys and just kangaroos and all this. I only to do a 40-minute gig. Yeah. Now, meanwhile, I'm in between a tour, so I'm thinking I'm bad. I'm thinking I'm fire.
Yeah.
Well, I hit the stage, yeah. Like I'm one of them people, I'm quite animated on stage, and you see the more I start dying, the more I get more animated. I'm like body popping, and like I'm not. I'm like, wait, I'm moving a lot here. For no laughs, I'm doing a lot of active. I looked at the time. I was like, I knew that I was 20 minutes into my set, but I was actually 4 minutes into that particular set. I just hadn't had a laugh. So I was like breezing through it, and I like looked at the time. I was like, oh no, you got 35 minutes to go. But I didn't, and then I just got the plane back. But I didn't have that. Oh, let me go top secret. I just had a long plane journey. Like I was just like, wow. And it hadn't happened for a while because the more you become experienced, the less you bomb. And you still bomb at least once a year. You're gonna bomb. Yeah. But when you just, I said, well, you really started feeling yourself, and now you've had your ass handed to you.
You know what's mad is when you don't have the chance to be like, I can jump on a gig like next week, or I've got another show. Is when you got to sit in your piece and sit there and be like, was it me? Was it them? Was it the microphone?
It's always you.
Was it
it's always you. Come on, man. As you've been doing this longer, it's not healthy. Don't blame. You can blame the audience when you first start. Whatever it takes to get through it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can do all of that shit. As you start doing this job long enough, it don't serve you well to blame the audience. There might be little things, but as a skilled comic, you can get them round. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you can't do that, then it's you.
Sometimes it is the audience, though. There is a few gigs where you're like, nah, man, the vibe is off. And do you know that I found it where it's not even you try to find the thing to blame, but before you go on.
That's what I was going to say.
And you're like, these lot aren't here for any comedy. They're not here to laugh. They're just here to probably eat. And I'm like an added bonus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But every time that happens to me, even that, right, I've decided before I've gone on, there's something, my ego's got the better of me. I've looked at the audience and I thought, I can't be asked to be here. Or like, you lot I haven't gone in with the mindset of like, my job is to entertain you. That's my job right now. My job is to try to turn this around and make you laugh. I'm in a headset of like, you lot look rubbish. And I don't think I should be here. There's a little bit in me and that's like, you're too good to be here. Like something, because I can always trace a bad gig back to something that my brain has done before I've gone on stage, and that thing has normally been like, I could be hanging out with my friends. You know what I mean? There's something where my ego's just got the better of me. So I get what you're saying, but I do think that every time that's kind of happened, there's times where I can see that and I think, nah, I'm going to try my best and I'm going to go in, and then I've had like the best gig and I've looked and thought, oh, you didn't think this was going to go well, did you? But it ended up, so I don't know, actually,
What's been your worst gig? What's the worst gig you've ever had?
I did a gig, this is a couple of years into my career, and it wasn't Jongleurs, but it was like Choice FM or some shit like that. And Slim was there. There's a couple other people there. I went out. When I say crickets, You never forget your worst gig, and it was
Yeah.
just a room full of people just looking at me like, boy. But you know what? They were kind of being supportive. To be fair, like they were trying, but I was giving nothing. And then for reason, first of all, it was a time when people were still dancing on stages. So I've come out on stage, and they've been playing these tunes, and I'm just stood there like, wait, not me. So that was already killing off the vibe.
So when you say dancing on stage, you mean comics coming out?
Yes. Remember when it was all like the Def Jam vibes? Do you know what I mean? I can't even do the candy dance. Like it's like I'm one of them mixed race people. Like that song will come on and I'll be like, does anybody like a drink, please? I'll go to the bar. I'll go to the bar. Do you know what I mean? Like if there's a party, I stand up like a 16-year-old boy who smokes weed. I'm like, no, I'll just post up here and move my shoulders a little bit. So anyway, they're bumping out tunes and like everyone's like, yeah, and I've come out and I'm like, it's like you could hear my trainers squeaking on the floor. Yeah. Anyway, so I've done my gig. Everyone's just looking at me like, wow, you did that. And then for reasons I still don't understand, Mo, I put the mic in and I moonwalked off the stage.
What?
I don't. Something, the nervousness took my body.
What? Hold on, wait.
I kind of went, okay, well, that's that then. And it was like crickets.
You moonwalked.
And I can't moonwalk. Just so you know that as well, just so you can picture it. I didn't glide off the stage. I reversed off the stage on my foot bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I moonwalked off stage. Anyway, I come off the woman backstage. She went, how did it go? I went, oh, not good. And she goes, wait, did they boo you? I went, no. She went, it's not bad then. And I was like, wait, what? So anyway, I come off, I see Slim. And God bless Slim, right? Slim looked at me and he went, nah, you know what? I rate you for staying on for the whole set, you know? And he took my hand and he went, keep at it. Keep at it. Like, I love... No, but it was such a... You know the Slim burn? Where he's just like, he's not going to lie to your face.
No. Slim will never do that.
He won't lie to your face. He'll try it. But the encouragement was, let me know exactly what level I was at.
That's Slim, man.
Yeah, I remember I saw some school friends were there. They couldn't even look me in the eye. And I had another friend there. And I said, should we stay and get drunk? She went, Michelle, we can't stay here. We must leave. We must leave. No, she went, I said, shall we stay? Like me and
no, you got to go.
No, she went.
No, you have to go.
She went, no.
The only time you can stay is when you know you smashed. So you get that kind of, you're the comic, right? Yeah. Hey, man, you're funny, man.
But you know what? Sometimes I don't do well on a gig now and I don't care. Like, I'm staying. If I'm chatting to someone, I mean, generally you're not really staying after a gig, but if I'm chatting to people, even if I died, you know what, actually? That weren't really dying, though. I did Kane's gig a couple, maybe like 6 months ago. And I just didn't. You know, you're used to doing well. And I was adequate. I come on stage, I said to Kane, I was like, I kind of need to come back and try and crack him. He went, yeah.
There was no Slim speech on that one.
No, because Kane knows me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And
he
knows I'm a capable comic, and he can see when they was just like, yeah. And then we just carried on chatting about whatever we were talking about. But it was like, don't insult me and pretend that it went. I just went, I kind of need to come back and try a crack at me. He was like, yeah, you do. Yeah,
because that's what I love about Slim. When I remember early on, where it's like you're saying, as a comic, you're like, this wasn't the best one, and you kind of find those comics to reach out for a little bit of advice or feedback. But no, Slim is great for that. He's like, listen, man, fuck all of them, man. Fuck all of them, man. Because you know what it is, you're going out there, they just want to drink and do it. Fuck all of them, man. Trust me. Because you know what it is, Listen, let me tell you something.
That is such a good...
No, that is
how
Slim
do you
to
make
a
that
T.
Because why has Slim got a kind of echo in his voice? How are you doing that?
I never forget, I remember doing a gig with Slim in... I think it was Leeds, and he broke his phone, and we both got paid cash, and I was just like chilling with him while he was in Leeds, innit? And then when because we was doing like Leeds, Birmingham, Manchester, so
I know them ones.
You get a bit of money, innit? And whatnot.
A bit, yeah.
But like, obviously he's pissed because he's broke his phone, he's got to spend his money buying a new phone,
right?
Innit? And I used to work at Apple Store at the time, innit? And then I was just like, you should get this iPhone. He goes, Mo, I don't know about these phones, bruv. I remember, back in the day, he'll go, back in the day, I have a Nokia. Last year, 3 weeks, bruv. 3 weeks, don't have to charge it. Put it in the thing there. I don't know what phone I'm buying, man. I'd never forget that moment. But it was also like my moment with a comic. You got your little bit of money, you got to chill, like, and I've always seen him like one of those elders who was like your kind of uncle, your cool uncle that you can like. I don't smoke, but you can bun a spliff with. Do you know what I mean? Don't tell your mum in it, but just smoke it, man. Yeah, man.
He's safe, and Kane Brown is safe as well. Like really, when I think about starting. Nothing creepy about just really like encouraging, honest, supportive, lovely, and like Slim. I was hosting some gig over the summer. You know, one of them, like I was filming in the day and I forgot I'd said yes to this, and I thought, do you know what, it's fine, a day of filming. I thought I'd just go and do my 20 minutes. I was like, hosting? No, I'm going to be here all night. So Slim comes and he's like, all right, I'm just doing my BTS stuff. I said, what? He goes, listen, the fans love seeing it, Mish. Forget about the sets and that. But his enthusiasm for like social media and cultivating his, I'm just going to edit these up, and he's staying after the gig to go, I've got to film this, and like, this tent looks like his own little like director of photography there filming this. And the amount of time he's been doing it, and now to see him like, to see that like now whatever the mainstream circuit is, everyone knowing him on that circuit as well. Listen, Slim's a heavy hitter. Same with Kane. I feel the same about Kane. I
always find it funny when like I meet comics, especially who are on that mainstream circuit, and they speak about someone on like the black circuit, and they're like, oh my God, do you know like Kane Brown? Wow.
Have you heard him do crowd work?
I gig with him. That guy is like, he's like coming out and he's like, hey, like, where are you from? And he's like, you're like, fucking fuck your mum. It's like, wow. That's what we do.
Yeah, because they don't know. But I think you should keep it alive and be like, he ain't been doing it long. It came from nowhere, innit? It really like exploded on the circuit, didn't it?
So would you say you started more on the mainstream circuit than the black circuit?
Yeah, definitely. And also in New York, there's not really a difference between the two. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's like the same,
It's kind of in the same. You've gigged out there. It's kind of in the same wheelhouse. So when I came back here, I would do both. And when I say the hits and misses were in equal measure. Now, not so much, to be honest, on the black circuit. I still do a couple gigs a year, same hit and miss, but yeah, not so much. But I feel like now we've merged more. We're not. It's not like how it was.
No. It like, doesn't feel so much event based of like.
This is a black gig. This is a mainstream gig. Even the like terms are a little patronising and annoying when you look at the numbers that anyone that has a, let's say, traditional, black circuit following has. It's like, for Slim to come on the mainstream circuit, inverted commas, he was taking a step down to do that from the following that he had.
Selling out.
Do you know what I mean? He could sell out anything. So then he's like, he's going to come and do 20 minutes at Top Secret. Slim, don't take the piss. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I feel like they're just more merged. It's not so...
I feel like comedy is a lot more broader as well. Do you know what I mean? With social media.
Exactly that.
Good friends with Catherine Ryan as well.
I would say.
How did that friendship come about?
Me and her have known each other probably from when I moved back here for a little bit in like 2010. And I'm just a big fan of hers, man. She's always been safe. She did this thing backstage with Catherine Ryan that was on Amazon. She put me on that, and then she had me as her tour support as well. Oh wow. So it was really like, if one person could have really, and that was a time where I was pushing 40 and I was thinking, how did this happen? How are you
man.
renting a room off your mate and you don't have nothing? You know what I mean? Like, I was just sort of like, oh, wow. Yeah. Now what? Do you know what I'm saying? So she really...
How did you find it, like, doing comedy clubs to then doing tour support? Did you find there was a difference, or did you just find it was like turning up and you're like, there's a crowd here, they're here to see someone and I'm supporting?
I was really lucky because Catherine is such a skilled comic that there's no part of her that's like where you feel like I better not crush too hard, or I better hold back a little bit, or I better make sure that, like, I want to be good, but I don't want to be... And likewise, if it didn't go well, I never felt any way. So I was lucky with Catherine that she was very like, go smash it.
Yeah.
Like, go, and she would give me a nice intro, and she was really like, go do your best. And it's likewise if if every now and again you die in it, she'll just be like, whatever. She'll come and be like, oh, Catherine, I'm not sure. She'll be like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Catherine, she's sort of like, she's consistent, but sometimes there's not a lot of range in it. So she'll just be like, yeah, it's fine. And you're like, wait, is it though? So I was really lucky. And it's quite interesting because now I'm on tour. I've got about a rotation of like, let's say 5 or 6 different comics that are all in sort of the early stages of their career. And because Catherine sort of showed me the way how to act up, you know what I mean? So now I do the same. I always want them to do well. I'm doing smaller rooms, so I always go out onto the stage and introduce the comic because I want the audience to pay attention. Like, this person's not getting loads of money. They're in the beginning of their career. The best way you can support them is to follow them on social media. And while they're coming out here, pay attention. This is not like, I'm just going to talk and wait for Michelle. No. Pay attention. You're seeing someone and in their early stages. And so her being like that with me sort of meant like I was shown a code of conduct and a way to, best support a comic coming up.
It's so interesting because whenever I get comics to support, I understand for them, they're always a bit like, but the room ain't full yet, not everyone's listening, but it's all, I try my best to even, like, we lock off the bar, so the bar will open up when we get to a break, but after that, when the comic's on, we lock off the bar. But also knowing the mindset of a comic who's supporting, where I'm like, listen, we got another show tomorrow, don't worry about it. And you're gonna have there's always gonna be one show in this tour that's gonna give you your fucking hell, that was really nice. Because I feel like as a comic, a lot of comics don't understand the difference of doing the clubs in a 20 and doing the 20 as a tour support, where at the clubs it's like came in for a couple drinks, see who is on, might get Ricky Gervais might pop in, but I don't know, I'm just here to see what the vibes are with my mate, or I'm on a date. Whereas I think support is different because they're there to see comedy. Yes, they might be turning up to see a person, but they're like, if you're introducing us to this person and I like your comedy, I believe this person who you're bringing me to. Do you know what I mean? Of
course.
So vital, man.
Yeah, and also, like I always say to like the acts that support me, I'm like, listen, you're siphon off. You know what I mean? Like, I know my audience. My audience is around my age. I'm like, you're siphon, any young person you're for them. Like, you're talking about things that I'm not talking about, and you're siphoning off your own audience from this audience. So go in with that mind. Take some of these people because they'll support
always
you.
Say that, man.
Yeah, and Catherine was like that with me, and I got a lot of, before I had someone like helping me with social media and stuff like that. I was taking a lot of her audience for my smaller shows.
Yeah. How do you find social media?
It's terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't enjoy it. It gives me anxiety. Sometimes I just think, is it worth it? Luckily, I was able to pay another comic who's like newer and fresher and understands social media, Sam Piccone, to do my videos. And so sometimes, like, if I'm trying to sell a tour, he clips up my stuff and pops it out. He is, he understands it. I'm dyslexic. Not to say that that's part of it, but like, one, I don't care. Two, I used to model. I kind of scratched that itch of like seeing myself and getting the admiration for. I sort of done it, and also I just don't. It just doesn't. It kind of really stifles my creativity. I find it really, like, I start engaging with it, and then I'm just worried if, like, should I write a caption, and then I write it and delete it and I just think, you dickhead, just fucking post it. No one cares. But I'll really get in my head about it, and it just it stifles my creativity. It stops me being able to do long form thinking because I keep on checking this nonsense. Do you know what I'm saying? I find it.
When you say checking nonsense, is that
I start going for the instant gratification of it and engaging. Oh, did
okay.
someone comment? Have I got more views on this? How's those views going? So if someone else does it for me, I don't have to be so engaged. I'm not loading it on. I'm not doing all of that. But the second I start getting into that, it really distracts me, and it starts to like eat up my ego and make me insecure. And I start getting a bit like, not in a, free form. I'm a big woman, like, but I just know that it's one of them things that when I start digging into it, it actually doesn't have a great effect on my well-being.
Yeah. And you say it's overwhelming. Is that also the dyslexia as well when it comes to it?
Yeah, sort of understanding I should be engaging with it. And I think overwhelming is in like, there's so many people I see that are they find it so easy. It's like really natural for them. And I know that I can't do that.
Yeah.
Now I accept it, but there was a time where I felt like, I should be capitalising on this, and I should be making money, and TikTok, and like I was on Graham Norton like a month ago. I haven't posted it on my grid because do you think I know how? Like every time I just think, you know what? I just rather not do it then. Do you know? You know what I mean? Like right now it's VAT time, innit? Sometimes they're like, give us your receipts, and you think, I'd pay that money just not have to fucking deal with this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so boring, innit? I'll pay the money. I don't care. Just charge me. I don't want to do this mindless admin. I'm not made for that. I'm made for other things.
Here's a coffee. It's like, I was cool.
Don't worry about it. I don't care.
Charge into the game. Man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, it takes money to make money, innit? It all evens out in the end. I'll be thinking shit like, I just need a humble 4 million and then I'm fine. So I'm just doing this, a little pound here, 50p now, £20 on boots. How did you spend? Was some of that for work? Fuck, have it. I don't care. I ain't got the mind for this shit, man. So that's how I feel in social media. Sometimes I'm like, I should have done that at the time because maybe
a picture of the receipt, innit?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where? The other pictures? Do you know what I mean?
You got to type in receipts in your phone and then you got to send them.
As soon as you start telling me, I'm like, I don't care, shut up.
I just pay it, it's fine, As an Uber, slightly, I wanted to get it. Maybe I didn't need it for work. It was for leisure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's for me, social media. I really get in my head about it. Like I'm like, I should post this thing. And then my friends will be like, why haven't you posted that thing? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I should probably, it's quite timely, isn't it? So then the heat.
Because you run out of time as well, innit? Because then are you in it? Sometimes you think, but that happened so long ago now.
Yeah.
Does it feel relevant? Do you know
begging.
What I mean?
Yeah. But literally, I've got my friend Ashley's story staying with me at the moment. And I said, before I left, I went, Ashley, like when you come back later, could you help me can I post that Graham Norton thing? And she went, you haven't done it. And I said, no. And she went, did they give you the clips? And I was like, well, it's probably probably some. And she was like, do you want me to just do it for you? I was like, that's exactly what I want you to do. I don't want to learn. Yeah. I'm not here to learn.
Yeah.
Can you take pity on me and could you please do it for me? Thank you.
So when it comes to, but you see, like, because you've also written your own stuff as well.
Yeah.
How do you find then the writing of it? Because I feel like I'm dyslexic, so when it comes to, I can write for me. So if I know I need to write this and write this as a tour, just give me the work in progress shows. So if I know I'm writing to something, fine. If I don't have the shows, I can't write the special. I tried this whole, I went to New York for a week. I was sat in Central Park and had a coffee and I was like, day one of writing, nothing came to me. But if I know I've got something to write to, it works. But also writing for me is very easy because I know the stuff. When I'm writing from a place of like, all right, script and character and scene.
I love it.
Yeah?
Because it's an imagination world. Like I've started, after my show, I started doing writers' rooms because I didn't have a writing team or anything for my show. But like I love writing on other shows. Like I find it really, like I did punch-ups for Dreaming Whilst Black and it was like so good to just like get the season. I'm like, I get this. I can make this funnier. You know what I mean? And the same way if I do writers' rooms for different things, I'm like, I get it. And I can also write for other comics. I get that. I know their voice. And if I'm writing characters, like now I'm pitching another show we'll see what happens with it, with the BBC. And like, I get it. I understand character breakdowns. The only thing that would set me back is there was a little while where before I started writing, I was like, oh, writer's the thing that writers do. But I don't know how to do that. And then I realised anyone can write, you know. And then I sort of was like, you know, the spelling thing I got over. But once I realised you get a editor, or you pass it on to someone, and they understand that us creatives of neurodivergent, this, that, and whatever. Because you know, when you're dyslexic, sometimes someone goes, "Oh, just use spell check." You think spell check knows what I'm trying to write? Characters, why is there's an H in there and a wait, what? You know, when you're like, you think there's a suggestion for me with what I'm writing. No, don't be silly.
Is there ever been a word where you know the word but you don't know how to spell it?
That's called dyslexia. Are you all right?
No, but you know, like, there was a word I typed in Google. What word was it? There was something, and I was sitting there saying it, and I'm like, what is the letter that this word even consciousness?
Right, them ones.
I was in a chokehold sitting there. I said, consciousness. I know this word. How am I spelling this? All right. I know it's not K.
No.
C. Then I'm like, what is it? Is it C? Then I'm questioning myself.
Yeah.
But you know, like, I know the word.
K-O-N.
Listen, I was on Google fighting for my absolute life.
You know what? It gets you upset and emotional, innit? Because you're like, you don't even have a suggestion for me.
There's nothing. Google's like, brother, I can't help you. You know, you need to read books.
You know where I've learnt this as well, right? Because I'm the voice of delivery, and I've been the voice of delivery for a while. And sometimes I'll go in, and they're so nice with me. They'll be like...
That's on the radio, isn't it?
It's on the radio, it's TV, it's everything.
Yeah, man. That's mad, actually, you said that, because I was listening to Talksport the other day, and I was like, I know this voice.
Yeah.
Who is this voice?
Deep woman voice is this that I know. South London. Yeah. So anyway, what's mad with that is sometimes they'll be so nice. They'll be like, Michelle, we know that you've said it like this. Let's say it's teriyaki. And they're like, it's teriyaki. And I'm like... I've been saying it my whole life in this one way, you know, or like there's certain spellings where they'll be like, hi, Michelle, great. Could you do it again? And I'm like, oh, it's where I've heard a word and I just, because I don't know how to spell the word, I've been saying it wrong. Do you know what I mean? I'm just, or, you know, I sort of, and as you get older, people are less likely to correct you, innit? They just say, go on then. And you're just out here in the wilderness saying pregnant. And
you know what's mad is when they let you do it and they goes, that was fantastic. Let's do one more. Yeah. But if you just say it how the script is and we just go line by line.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, I thought I smashed it. And now we're doing line by line.
Yeah. Do you know what happened to me? Like, I didn't know, what is it, faux, yeah? You know faux?
Yeah.
I don't know how I was saying it, but they were just like, okay, like, can you
just got a few pickups?
Yeah, just a couple of pickups. But in terms of like writing, I love it because it's a whole world that you're creating, and I'm quite a visual person, and so I really enjoy all of that side of it. You know, like I can do all of that. I could write a whole show, no writers on my own. You think I could post that the show's out on TV? You think I could do that without assistance? No, bruv. You best have me as a collaborator. Please collaborate with me. Accept.
That's so interesting because I feel like with writing, I'm probably the opposite. Social media, I know how to navigate that, post, share, whatever it is. But then when it came to the writing side of script, I remember just sitting there with, what's it called? Final draft. And I was like, all right, so where we go from here? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm writing the character in the line, space, the other character in the line. And then when have you ever had this where, you know, you get into a room of like writing and you sit there and you're like, what, this is how we write it? Everyone's just talking. And then there's someone in the side going,
bruv, my first day in a writer's room, I turned up like Colton from The Fresh Prince, yeah? I had my laptop.
Yeah.
I had all my books. I wore something smart. I sat in the writer's room and it was like for this Apple like drama or whatever, and I sat down, I was all like, I'm ready, you know, getting my, you know, like first day of school vibes. And everyone was just like, like no one got out notebook, nothing.
Yeah.
I was like ready with my workstation. I set it up.
You got your pen right.
Yeah. Little inkwell. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, my new fountain pen. Let me put my new cartridge in it. Click. I'm ready. And yeah, everyone was just sort of like lounging on seats, just like, well, like, okay, like, all right, well, like, what about if this happened? And I was like, but is this? Exactly like you're saying, someone's taking down minutes, just like, okay, let's break for lunch. Lunch? Have we begun? I said I could do some of this, I can do writers' rooms. Is this it?
The lunch is banging.
Lunch?
You know when they do the lunch and they go, what would you like to have?
Yeah.
Let's all get, what should we get, Misha? And you're like, I was just...
Yeah, anything I want.
You're like, Pret is all right. Pret? Okay,
no.
We can get a Pret, but like, I think we should just get like, do you know, there's a really good Thai place. Let's get that. Are you good with that?
Or how about Farmer's Malarkey? It's always like some nonsense like that. Like someone wants to get like a ginger shot from there and then they're like, oh God, you know what? Actually. And then and then before you know it, you're getting some like southern like meal that's sort of like also along with a keto diet, and then they're like, ginger shots, ginger shots for everyone.
The ginger shots. But you know what was mad is like when you break for lunch in a writer's room, there's normally food there anyway. Yeah. So there'll be like some bananas, some croissants, some
snack
crisps.
Station.
And I'm like, we can eat this, we don't need lunch. I'll take the lunch. I always find it mad where you sit there and you write and like that's how I got really into sushi, innit? Because you sit there and I was like, let's get sushi. And then they're putting the little soy sauce and they're like, oh, great. So like, Jamal, like, what do you like? What'd you get, man? I've got to come like some of your shows. And you sit there like, there's me ready to pick it up.
the whole green bit of wasabi, pop it in your mouth like a Malteser. I love this. It's very delicious and hot.
You're eating the edamame. But you don't now. You just pop them. You're like, hey,
it's chewy.
Why are you not eating this, man?
It's chewy, yeah.
Oh, man, that's
the little
man.
green plastic grass around the side. Delicious, man.
You're like, and you see someone go, oh, you're just meant to pop out the beans. I've been eating these, the whole thing. Oh, I thought they were sugar snap peas.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle, man, it's such a pleasure to have you on the pod.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Before we leave, you speak about like, how you like writing and you're quite imaginative. How do you kind of imagine that as, a comic, an actor, a model later on in life?
Well, I mean, it's interesting with the identity of a model because I haven't done a modelling job for like over 10 years.
It's
do you know
still
what
part
I mean?
of your DNA, though.
Yeah. It's still part of my story. But how I like to think of like work life is like, am I going to be proud with the body of work that I have, right? So, and that's doing all different kinds of things. And now what I do is I trust my instincts a lot more. I know if a show's not right for me. I know there's certain things I've got to be brave enough to say no to because the money might be there, but the anxiety will kick up and it's not going to be worth it to me. And also I know if I'm not happy, I'll spend money like it's water. The money's not going to have any value. So, and obviously you need money to be able to be philosophical about money. I get that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember my friend saying to me, money's not an issue when money's not an issue. I was like, exactly. Do you know what I mean? When you ain't got no money, you're like, bring me my money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I do try to think of like, I've done some stuff early on in my career that I wasn't proud of. Like when I say wasn't proud of, I just thought that's kind of cheesy. Or like, what is it giving? Or like, what's it? What's it doing? Do I like it? Am I happy? Am I proud of it? Yeah. So like even my TV show, I didn't get a season 2. I'm proud of the work. Do I love it? No one loves anything. Do you know what I mean? And if you do, you're a dickhead. Like, do you know? Sorry, that sounds so British to say that, but you know what I mean. Like, if you're like, oh, that was the best bit of work ever. You're like, it probably is not perfect. Do you know what I mean? So everything can be improved. You know better, you do better. So I try to think of stuff like, am I happy with it? Did I do myself or anyone else any big disservice? Was I going for any cheap jokes? Was I, you know what I mean? Like, and I like to have a bit of variety. So I love stand-up. That is my number one thing. Every job I've ever got has been off the back of stand-up. Even when stand-up was not generating money, I will always keep that alive. I think it's so important. Like, I will never be like, oh yeah, I'll do this now. I like acting. I'll probably say no to more roles than I would say yes to because I just know I'm not right for it. I don't think I'm going to elevate this project or do it any favours. Yeah. In terms of writing, I love writing. I think as we get older, I sort of think about things that I can do behind the camera a lot more. And I think you want to be generous. You know what I mean? There's more than one job for us now. It's not like, oh, well, you're here, so that means I'm not going to get that job now.
Yeah.
I think that kind of mentality can make you hold on to things and not share your knowledge, not give advice. Like, things are moving the way they are. You can either be someone who helps someone get along their way, or you can be someone who's salty and thinks that what happened with them should have happened to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you're someone who's always been like very generous with your platform, and it's important. And so whatever happens in your career, the ups and downs, the sort of trials and tribulations along the way, these are things that we know about you and your brand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think where people on social media sort of think of themselves as this avatar, it's like, no, they're sort of merging into one now. Like, you really are your brand in many ways. So like, I just try and think of like, there's certain things that I will do and there's certain things that I won't. And I just accept that about myself. And I hope that when I die, that I have a body of work that has variety and made people laugh or entertain them, or they found it enlightening, or they learnt from me being a dickhead in some way.
Yeah.
I think that's the most that I can hope for.
Before we go, I always ask my audience online a question for our guest. There's a question that came in for you straight off the top.
Oh, yeah.
This is your question. Here we go. Someone said, Michelle, any plans for another Spent series, please?
Oh, well, we didn't get another series, unfortunately, so no. But I am developing a sitcom at the moment.
Nice.
With Jamali, actually.
Oh,
so we'll see
sick.
what happens. Yeah.
Oh, wicked, man.
Yeah.
So we got a question and an exclusive.
Yeah, and a
Come
question and an exclusive. And then also, like, sometimes you do stuff and you like, someone was asking me, they were like, aren't you salty about it? And I was like, do you know how hard it is to get a bloody show on TV?
Listen, man, you just got to... You know, like, sometimes...
no, I'm not salty about it.
It's the blessing of like, this exists on television. And for me, as a CV... It's like you're saying, it's your body of work where you're like, this is the thing that I created, and this is also proof of concept. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think people realise what that's like. Of you're like, we have a thing here. All right, didn't get another series, or okay, we done this thing, but it's happened. A vision in my head has come to light.
Yeah,
do you know
come
what I mean?
to fruition. And and that's what I mean. If you're proud of it, then that's it. Keep it moving. Think of something else. It's not like, oh, this person took my idea. And if you're creative. I've had shit stolen from me. I'm sure you have. If you're creative, you can come up with another idea.
One, innit? Oh, and that's always the way, man. You're like, yeah, all right, you know what? Take that one. You need it more than me. It's such a pleasure to have you on the pod, man. The tour's on sale now as well, right?
Yeah, I think there's still some dates left.
Yeah, man. Let the people know, man.
Yeah, well, it's called The Afters. And I'm sure we're going to put on more dates. It starts again in March. It ends in May. And I think most of it's sold out now, but I know that we're going to put on more dates. So please, you can look at michelle.com for that. Another social media thing that I don't run.
Come on. It's been a pleasure to have you on the pod. I feel like your story is so inspiring, but also really intriguing and interesting. The way that you think and the way that you see the world, of like how you like writing as opposed to social media. Do you know what I mean? And man, grab those tour tickets. And this has been your beginning, middle, and end. Thank you very much, Michelle. Appreciate. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.